I got so much motherfucking design on right now.
Break it down, bring it back, make it clap. I got 3 old thoughts, new guap.
Hello guys, and welcome back to the Teacher channel and your podcast, The Teacher's Corner. My name is Javier Vasquez and I'm with my colleagues and friends Marilyn Carabajo and Katie Zambrano. And in today's podcast we're going to talk about an interesting topic which was suggested for our audience. And the topic is the problems in English classroom and their possible solution. As you know, we are studying to be an English teacher, and according to that we are doing our teaching practicum, or teaching practice, and according to that we're going to share some problems that we could observe during our teaching practicum based on our experience. So
through semesters in our teaching practicum, the way I see in the EFL classroom, students used to translate their minds into Spanish. Regarding the public schools, there is a lack of hours in the English subject. There are only 3 hours per week and only 40 minutes in the lesson in English. Hence, if the teacher explains everything in English, students might not be interested to listen to the teacher in English, or might not be understand the instruction in English because their mother tongue is Spanish.
Hello everybody, thank you for having us. Of course, being a third world country where English is not really appreciated and to be practiced or learned, there's going to be for sure a lot of problems in different public schools when trying to teach it. Talking about problems, guys, I would like us to share some challenges or problems we may encounter during our teaching practice.
yeah, and I would like to start with my problems that I could observe in my teaching practice. And the most important is that I observe that the teacher uses only the verbal side in the explanation of the topic. What I mean that when she explains the grammar structure, or she does not explain. I mean, she explains the instruction, but she doesn't explain in an organized way. So, and also according to that, she explained, as I told you, the grammar structure, the usage, the examples, and as I told you, there are a lot of information on the board, and they get confused when they see this in the board. But however, when the students have to practice with language sheets or flashcards or just writing some sentence, they get idea. Okay, they get idea, but when they, as I told you, when they observe a lot of information on the board, they don't understand what is the structure, what is the usage, and the example that the teacher uses. That's the problem. So
I consider that the learning styles is something you need to organize and differentiate the learning style of each student. But I would recommend you can use technological resources like a projector, a speaker. For instance, in your classroom you can use an activity to improve listening skills. For instance, pop songs about the first condition. So students will fill in the gaps, the verbs in the first conditional, we will listen to the song, and they will really enjoy it and engage with the topic of the grammar explanation.
I agree with that. I think there will be a mess because you said that in the board there is a lot of information. So the teacher should consider learning these styles, because when teaching a language, it's important to know how a student learn and to make a different experience when learning, because we want to make a difference. We don't want a traditional classroom, or maybe we don't want the same thing that we do before. So I think we can do a kind of chance. Maybe you have heard about this strategy where you teach students by parts, and then you can highlight the information that is important to teach, and maybe to make the use of graphs, visual aids, images, and so on and so forth.
yeah, so And also, it's, I mean, according to that problem, I observed a sure problem that you already gave me the solution, and it's that the teacher has this materials, resources. For example, in the classroom, they have a projector, they have speaker, but the teacher doesn't use that. And yes, so as you said, so if we use that, it's going to be useful for the teachers too, because in that way they're going to understand better. And also, as you said, so if we use like I don't know, flashcards to differentiate the grammar structure, it's going to be easy for the students to get a to get the topic that they have. So yeah, that's going to be a good solution.
Yes, in my teaching practicum, I am really stressed out because students in 6th grade, parallel B, they have a bad behavior because they didn't want to pay attention, they are making noises, they are screaming all the time, they are distracted, and we were raised their voice to say, please be quiet, but they didn't.
Behavior is one of the most common problems inside a classroom, especially when you're working with children. There's a lot of noise. And it is even worse when you work with adolescents, because they think they are the boss in the classroom. Okay, so maybe they don't have the values because they come to class like rules and like strong, but they have to perceive very respect. And also, I think one solution could be to teach different or use behavioristic and humanistic methods to control the behavior. For instance, we can use something interesting for them, also to consider the background they have, because maybe they have problems at home, so it is important to consider it.
Yeah, so this is another problem that I have seen in my teaching practice. And based on my experience, I can say that using tasks or activities such as games could help to raise the good behavior of the students. And also, this idea is going to be, this idea is it depends on you, but I would say that another solution for that could be to establish class rules with your students, because as you know, when you establish rules, you're going to explain the consequences that they are going to have if they had a bad behavior. And also, this is also we can see that at home, because when parents say, if you do that, we're going to have this consequence. Okay, but as Marian said, so you are teaching to the children, and it's kind of difficult to try to transmit this classroom atmosphere. So I think to transmit the classroom for the adults and for the teenagers is going to be easier, because they already know that if they have a bad behavior, they're going to have bad consequences. But it's going to be difficult for the kids or for the children, because they said, so I'm children and I can do anything. So, but yeah, that could be a solution. And also, as I said, so if you use games and activities to encourage your kids and to talk about what's happening. So for example, games are more natural to them, and while they are playing, they learning, or I mean the learning also comes nature, yeah. And also, yeah, it's kind of activities you can include, like comments like class, reserves. But the most important, I think, it's establish class rules. Also, just we have to try to find a way to transmit the rules, but I think it's a good idea for the bad behavior of the students.
In comments also, have you ever heard about comments like class? Yes. The children like to do that because it catches the attention of children quickly and they feel more motivated.
Yeah. Your comment? Yeah.
Of course. One of the most prominent problems I found in my practicum is that the teacher doesn't lose the communication in of English between the classroom or between the students. Therefore, they use their native language to answer questions or when they are working in some activities. So there's not a push to make them to start speaking English.
Yes, so and also this is another problem that I observe. I mean, the problems in the classroom, we have a lot of problems. That's another problem that I observe. And I don't know if you know, and I think you know, it's a famous method, and it's CLT, on communicative language teaching.
Yes.
Yeah, in order to build the students' fluency and communicating skills, because it will enable learners to use second language in real life situations. Also, you have to apply the communicative activities, because if you apply the communicative activities, you're going to have the clear situation, you're going to have the purpose and the role of the speakers. For example, if you use like role play, you have to always explain what is going to be the rules of the rules of the students and the purpose of this activity. Because if you explain the purpose of that activity, I think they're going to catch or are going to understand why I'm doing this. What's the purpose of this activity? But yeah, so we as an English teacher, we know this CLT method and apply different activities of them. It's going to promote the communicative competence. So that could be a good solution.
I'm not learning in method, but let's not try our experiment. Still new, but let's try how to solve the problem. So one of my recommendations is a positive feedback to reinforce students their pronunciation and good attitude when they are pronounced a bad word or they are pronounced a wrong word, they didn't pronounce very well. Moreover, Teacher Sophia, I learned from Teacher Sophia, they have an advertising card. If the students speak in Spanish, the teacher will give the advertising card. So, so the students will bring candies for the next class, and that was also a good command that, as Javier already said, that commands and common rules. No Spanish, that's all.
Yeah, and also that rule is going to be, let's say that enjoyable for them, because they are adults, they are adults and they're going to enjoy different kind of games. And as I shared the point of view of Katie, and that said that we have to, we can say that try to the students. I can say that as an example because I know the idea that I want to communicate, but I don't have the example. But yes, I mean, yeah, I share. I get confused with my ideas, but yes, I share the point of view of Kate. So that's all. Yeah.
Okay, guys. So now I think we come to the end, the close. We have finally end the session. So it's true that education should change in order to reduce problems, improve realities, and at the same time the quality we want to achieve. Although we have a hard journey to do, we should take into account the needs and abilities of the students, because by doing small things, we can make a big difference inside an English class. And teachers should always be prepared for that.
Yeah, so yeah, and I remember what I want to say, and it's about the pronunciation. When you said, so it's short things or little things can change, and just for attitude can change behavior, can change the environment of the classroom. Because as you said, so if you said that you have, I don't know, like you have a bad pronunciation or something like that, they're going to get, I'd say, they are going to feel afraid of it because they're going to, they are not going to participate in that. And so yeah, that's an interesting topic, and as you know, so we have a lot of problems and we can take your time. but I think this is the most common problem. So anyway, yeah, thank you very much for watching and listening to this interesting podcast to you, Alex, and I hope you enjoyed and learned something about our experience in teaching English. And remember that we as a future teacher, we have to try to solve the problems that we observe in the classroom every day in the whole time. And that way we want to improve the education in our country. So yeah, that's all. Thank you so much, guys, and see you in the next episode.
See you.